So I thought I'd do something a little different this episode. I decided to review a game that is a little recent, and by recent I mean it's come out within the last 10 years, give or take a few. But this is my first Xbox game review, which is X-Men Legends. This also came out on PlayStation 2 and GameCube. It was released in 2004. Published by Activision, Marvel, of course, had a hand in its licensing, and the game was developed by Raven Software. So, if you've never watched the cartoon or read the comic of X-Men, allow me to explain the story to you briefly. Humans are evolving into mutants, which are being feared, hated, and oppressed by mankind. There are, of course, bad mutants, such as the Brotherhood, who are trying to cause chaos and destruction, as well as take over all of humanity. But of course there are the good guys, such as the X-Men, who are trying to cause peace for both humans and mutants. The game starts off with you trying to rescue a young girl named Allison, who is having a hard time dealing with her new mutant powers. She is first being taken away by humans, but then suddenly she's being kidnapped by the Brotherhood. There is Mystique, who can change herself to whatever she wants, and Blob is the big guy there. Suddenly, Wolverine of the X-Men steps in and tries to rescue her.
Stop fighting! Stop it right now! Stop!
Hey, bub, you should have called in sick today.
This game actually does have a pretty entertaining story, and it fits well for the world of X-Men. You will also play as plenty of your favorite characters, and also fight them too. You'll have to fight bad guys such as mutant-hating humans, and plenty of villains such as Juggernaut, Mystique, and Magneto. You will also have to fight off Sentinels too, which are not to be fucked with.
Sweet dreams, sucker. Better.
This game also has a pretty nice voice cast too. The young girl Allison is played by Cree Summer, who you'd recognize from several other cartoons, such as Susie from Rugrats or Foxy Love from Drawn Together, just to name a few off the top of my head. Wolverine is played by Stephen Blum, who has also done his characters several times in other Wolverine adaptations, such as Wolverine and the X-Men, that one cartoon that I believe was on the Nicktoons network. And also Patrick Stewart is Professor Charles Xavier. Ed Asner, who you'd recognize as Cosgrove from Freakazoid or Carl from Pixar's Up, is also in this as a sewer-dwelling mutant named the Healer. And also John DiMaggio plays both the Juggernaut and one of the game's main villains, General Kincaid. So now Cyclops has joined my party, and I can switch to him using the directional pad. I can have up to 4 X-Men in my party, each one having their own individual stats, their own unique abilities and moves, and their own strengths and weaknesses. For example, Wolverine might do a lot of physical damage with his slashing, punching, and kicking, but you will come across enemies who are resistant to physical-based attacks. In this case, I would switch to Cyclops and use his Optic Blast, which is a energy-based attack which would do a lot more damage to the enemy instead of just punching him.
Oh! Get this guy away from me!
Hey, come back here!
Don't take another step closer, Blob.
Try and stop me, Cream Puff!
The same also works the other way around. I will have to fight enemies that are resistant to energy-based attacks, and I'll either have to use physical attacks or use mental attacks, which consist of telepathy and telekinesis, which are used by characters such as Jean Grey, Emma Frost, and Psylocke.
I thought you X-Men were supposed to be good fighters!
You need more power to do that.
The fights in this game do get pretty hard. Thankfully, there are potions you can collect, which you use to replenish your X-Men's health and energy, which you use for attacks such as Cyclops' Optic Blast or Wolverine's Special Claw moves. You use the white button to use blue potions which replenish energy, and the black button uses red potions which replenish health.
Alright.
You collect these off of fallen enemies or by destroying the environment. You can destroy things such as barrels, dumpsters, and trash cans, fire hydrants, and stuff like street signs, to stuff like cars eventually. You can destroy walls, fancy equipment, boxes, the list goes on. The environment in this game is very destructible, and it's a fun way to gather loot, such as the potions or the form of money in this game, which is tech bits, which you use to buy equipment off of Forge, which is another one of the characters from the X-Men, as well as the Healer, which is a underground sewer dwelling mutant, which you buy potions off of.
Good work, guys. Now get Allison to the X-Jet. I'll meet you there.
So after a little more fighting, we finally get back to the X-Jet, and Allison is safely in the hands of the X-Men.
Things were fine until last week. I got mad at my little brother and suddenly the ground started to shake. I knew it was my fault, but I didn't want to admit it.
Your powers are becoming active, which...
Things have only gotten worse. That lava in the street, I made it happen. I'm becoming a mutant.
There's nothing wrong with...
And that woman? She was gonna make me join something called the Brotherhood. She could come after me again. Anytime!
Allison, you couldn't be in safer hands. We're the X-Men.
And this is where we arrive at the Xavier Institute. We play these parts as Allison while she gets comfortable with her new home, and as well as gets to know her new mutant friends.
Professor Xavier, I'd like you to meet Allison Crestmere.
Hello, Allison. Welcome to the Institute. How are you?
A little confused, but I'm okay.
That's understandable. Perhaps Jean could take you on a tour of the mansion, or would you prefer that I show you the true purpose of the Institute in the sub-basement?
I'd like Jean to show me around.
It would be my pleasure. As you move from room to room, I'll give you a little information on the X-Men.
So here I can explore the X Mansion and do several things within it. The most common one is talking to the other characters in the game. This way I can not only get to know them a little better, but I can also unlock side missions by talking to them when they usually reminisce about an event or battle that happened in the past. Doing these side missions, of course, gets me experience, which helps me level up my characters. Leveling up gets you skill points and ability points. You would spend skill points on things like your attributes, so stuff like your strike would increase your physical attack power, your body would increase your overall life, your agility increases your defense, and your focus increases your maximum energy, which you spend on special attacks. Ability points you spend on strengthening up your current abilities, your current special powers, or you can spend it on the new ones and gain new abilities. It's nice because it gives you a broad set of options right away. There's plenty of abilities for each X-Men to spend your points on, and between this and the equipment system, you can put 3 different pieces of equipment on your X-Men. It adds a really nice sense of customization to the game that's pretty fun. It has a very nice RPG element to it. And the other part to the X Mansion is the sub-basement, where all the main X-Men activity goes on. Here I can talk to other characters, or I can use the Danger Room, which is like their main training gym. Here I can do small side missions which not only brush up on my fighting skills, but also help me earn some experience points in the process. There are several different grades of difficulty for the missions in the Danger Room. You unlock more by completing an easier grade. The first one unlocked is Freshman. And you also unlock more by finding Danger Room discs throughout each of the game's main missions. And after exploring enough of the mansion and talking to enough of the characters, I can finally use the War Room, which I can use to start the next mission of the game.
Attention, X-Men. Meet me in the War Room immediately. With the aid of Cerebro, I've learned the Brotherhood is en route to Alaska. It appears their destination is the facility for the High-Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, also known simply as HARP.
What would the Brotherhood want at HARP? All that facility does is study the ionosphere.
That, Cyclops, is what you must discover. The Brotherhood has become extremely active since their attack on Allison, which can only mean something sinister is in the offing. And whatever their plan, we must thwart it before they can set back the cause of human-mutant relations.
The HARP facility, eh? This will be an excellent opportunity to test the new cloaking device I've installed on the X-Jet. It should render us completely undetectable to radar.
Excellent, Beast. You have your mission, X-Men. Godspeed.
So the amount of characters available to me has greatly increased. I now have a max party of 4, which consists of Wolverine, Cyclops, Storm, and Iceman, and I also have Beast, Rogue, and Jean Grey available to me waiting to get switched in.
Beast.
I can switch characters around during the start of each mission, or I can use extraction points, which I'll bump into a couple of during the main levels of the game. There I can change my party around, as well as save my game, which I will need to do often because the fights in this game do get pretty hard, and I would need to do a fair amount of reloading. Other X-Men will be joining up too as I progress through the game. As I play through, other characters will be unlocked, such as Jubilee, Gambit, Colossus, Emma Frost, and Psylocke. I'll also be gaining Allison, who goes under the codename Magma, once she gets comfortable with being a mutant. The game's combat reaches its full potential when there's 4 people in your party. I can control all 4 X-Men in single player, or I can have other players join up and each one would control their own individual X-Men. The game goes up to 4 players, and it's probably best played that way, because while I find the enemy AI to be really good and puts up a good challenge, the partner AI I find to be a little bit lacking. There are times where I find them not paying attention to what's going on at all, and they're just kind of spacing out. And even when they are performing at their best, they still are kind of slow and not quite as fast as a normal player would be with the fighting. So even though this is still a fun single-player game, I feel like it's probably best played with multiple people. I've only played this with 2 people, but it's still a lot of fun. So that's all I think I have to say for now for X-Men Legends. Overall, I really like this game and highly recommend it. It's pretty cheap to pick up. You can probably find it on eBay for about $10 or less, I'd say. And they also made sequels to this game. They made X-Men Legends 2 Rise of Apocalypse, and they also went on to make the Marvel Ultimate Alliance series after that. They made 2 of those games. The first one I played and liked a lot, and the second one I didn't play, but I heard it was very blah and mediocre. But I do recommend this one. If you like X-Men, beat-em-ups, or games with a nice RPG element to them, then I think this would be right up your alley.
Sometimes I don't know my own strength.
All right. Okay.
So for more cool videos like this one, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And also, please check out the links to my website and my free downloadable video game in the description below. Keep on gaming, and I hope you guys have yourselves a groovy day.
You bet.
You bet.
You were less than fortunate.
Man, I could show you some help.
Going down!
Indeed. This is quite real. Is this your first battle?
Booyah!